Hello and welcome to the Restart Your Life podcast. I'm your host, Rich Fournier. You know, if you've ever felt like you're capable of more than the life that you're currently living, you're not alone. See, your life can change faster than you think it can when you fully understand how your mind actually works. See, most people aren't stuck because of a lack of information. They're stuck because of the patterns and the unconscious beliefs that are running below the surface. On this podcast, we're going to break down the science of human performance so that you can rewire old patterns, eliminate the beliefs that are holding you back, and you can start creating the results you know that you're capable of. So let's dive in. I want you to stop for a second and I just want you to think about something. You are listening to a performance podcast right now, which means you are someone who actively invests in your personal growth. You read the books, you consume the content, you probably attend the events, and you know the strategies to perform at a higher level. You know what a high performance morning routine looks like. You probably know what a proper sales process looks like. And if you're in business, you probably know what consistent lead generation looks like. You know what you need to do. So here's the question. Why aren't you doing it consistently? Like not occasionally, not when you're fired up from a seminar, but consistently every single day. At the level that you know you're capable of. Now, if the answer in your mind is more information, more tactics, and more strategies, you probably would have fixed it already because there's so much information out there in the marketplace. But you probably haven't. And that's not meant to be an insult to you. This is the most important observation you will ever make about your performance in life. So welcome to Restart Your Life. My name is Rich Fournier, and this podcast exists for one reason. To show you what's keeping you stuck. It's probably not what you think it is. And once you understand what it actually is, everything's going to change in your life. So let's get into it. So here's what I call the performance paradox. If you're listening to this, you're probably a high performer or wanting to be a high performer. You probably have some ambition. You're probably highly intelligent, and you definitely have access to more information than any generation in human history. Strategy content is free. It's infinite. It's everywhere you look. Tactical information is one YouTube search away. And yet, there's a gap between where you are today and where you know you should be. You probably have income goals you haven't hit yet. You have disciplines you can't seem to maintain. And you have habits you start and then you stop and you bend in them. You have standards you have set and then quietly walk away from them. You have versions of yourself you can clearly see, but you just can't seem to reach. And the most frustrating part is you can't figure out why. Because from the outside and often from the inside, you look pretty good. You look successful. You function day to day. You produce some results. But there's a ceiling. And for some reason, you keep bumping against it. See, most people at this point do one of three things. They consume more content, right? More books, more podcasts, more courses, right? More seminars, believing that the missing piece is one strategy away. They push harder, more hours, more hustle, more effort, believing that intensity is the missing variable. Or they quietly accept it, telling themselves that maybe, just maybe, this is just who they are. Maybe this is their level. They're not meant for more. The truth is all three responses are wrong. And all three share the same fundamental misunderstanding about what is actually driving this performance gap. So here's the reframe that this entire podcast is built around. And once you hear it, I want you to hold it. I want you to hold on to this. Your current results in your life, they're not a strategy problem. They're not a knowledge problem, and they're not a discipline problem. Your results are an identity problem. You have a subconscious program that's wiring you to perform at the level that you're performing at. Now, let me say that again because it's the most important thing I will ever say on this show. Your results that you're currently creating in every area of your life, it's because of your wiring. It's an identity that you're holding on to. There is a concept that I always seem to come back to constantly in my work. And it's derived from the foundational research of Dr. Maxwell Maltz. And it's been expanded through modern neuroscience. And it's the concept of the self-image. See, your self-image is not your confidence. It's not your self-esteem. It's something far more fundamental. Your self-image is your subconscious definition of who you are. I need to say that again. Your self-image, the picture that you hold of yourself, is your subconscious, underneath your conscious mind, definition of who you are. And here's why this matters profoundly. Your brain, specifically your central nervous system, is a goal-seeking mechanism. But the goal it seeks is not the goal that you write down in your journal. It's not the income target on your vision board. The goal your brain seeks every single day is consistency with your self-image. Whatever your subconscious believes to be true about you, that is what your behavior will consistently produce. Not because you're weak, not because you're weak-willed, not because you lack discipline, but because your nervous system is designed to keep you in alignment with the identity that you hold of yourself. This is the hidden ceiling on all of your performance. It's so exciting, actually. And no strategy, no tactic, or motivational hit can break through this hidden ceiling. So let me make this really concrete. All right, let me give you an example or an analogy. Think about the thermostat in the room that you're in. You set it to 21 degrees, the room drops to 18, the heater kicks in and it brings it back. The room rises to 24 degrees. The air conditioning activates and brings it back down. See, the thermostat doesn't care about your comfort preferences. It simply maintains the set point that it was set at. See, your self-image, it's that thermostat, and your results are the room temperature. See, when your results drop below your self-image, that set point that you have set for yourself, you naturally activate and you push yourself back up to the set point. This is what creates the minimum performance you maintain consistently. But here's what most people miss. The thermostat works in both directions. When your results rise way above your self-image set point, your nervous system experiences that as a threat to its identity, and then it activates unconsciously, automatically, and quickly to bring your results back down to what it considers normal for its identity. This is not a weakness. It's not laziness. It's not a character flaw. This is your brain protecting the integrity of your self-concept of yourself. It's called psychological homeostasis. And it is the single most underestimated mechanism in human performance. And here's where it gets really, really important. See, the solution is not to try harder against this neurological mechanism. The solution is not to white-knuckle your way to high results through sheer willpower. The solution is to change the set point, to actually raise the self-image thermostat so that a new level of performance becomes your new normal. So that higher results feel like consistency, not achievement. So that your nervous system now activates to defend a higher standard than a lower one. That is identity change, and that is the work that we're going to do together. So let me give you some examples of what this looks like in the real world. I just want to bring it real to you, not just conceptual. Think about the salesperson or the entrepreneur who has a breakthrough month in whatever that they do. They hit a number they've never hit before, and something strange starts to happen. The next month, for some unknown reason, everything seems to fall apart. Deals don't close, energy's lower, focus starts to drift a little bit, and they end up right back where they were before. And from the outside, it just looks like bad luck, or the market, or circumstances. But here's what's actually happening. They produced a result that was way above their self-image set point. Their nervous system flagged that as an inconsistency with their internal definition of who they are. And the unconscious correction began immediately. They started to course correct unconsciously. See, this is why lottery winners lose their entire fortunes. It's why athletes underperform after big contract signings. It's why entrepreneurs hit a certain revenue number and then inexplicably plateau for years. See, it's not strategy. It's not the market. It's your thermostat. It's how you're set. Now, think about it in the other direction. Think about someone who invests heavily in learning their craft. They build real skill, real knowledge, real capability, but the results don't match their capability. They keep showing up smaller than their talent. Do you know anyone like that? I surely do. They discount themselves. They hesitate in rooms where they should be leading. Same mechanism, just a different direction. Their self-image, their set point is below their actual capability. And the thermostat keeps pulling their performance down to match the internal set point. See, the question is never, how do I perform better? The question is always, who do I believe I am? Here's what I want you to take from this episode today. You're not stuck because you lack strategy. You're not stuck because you lack talent. You're not stuck because you lack work ethic. You are stuck because you are operating from an identity that was formed years ago under different circumstances in your life with different information, with different evidence. And that identity has become a ceiling on what you allow yourself to produce and to receive in your life. The most important work you will ever do is not in your business. It's not in your systems. It's not in your calendar. It's in your self-image. It is in identifying the subconscious beliefs that are running your behavior on autopilot. It's in replacing the outdated programming with a new identity that is aligned with where you are going and not where you have been. This is what the Restart Your Life podcast is all about. This is what we do. This is the real work. And the reason you are listening to this podcast, the reason something in you was drawn to the title of Restarting Your Life is because some part of you already knows that the old way isn't working anymore. Shit's not working. Something in you is ready to restart everything in your life. So before we close this episode, I want to give you something concrete to take with you today. Between now and the next episode, I want you to do one thing. I want you to identify one area of your life or business where you know what to do. And you're not doing it consistently. I just want you to identify one thing. Don't judge it. I don't want you to analyze it yet. Just identify it. And I want you to sit with this question. What would someone have to believe about themselves to produce the pattern that I'm producing today? I'll say this again. Pick the one thing in your life that you know you need to do, but you're just not doing it. And then I want you to sit and ask yourself this question. What would someone have to believe about themselves to produce this pattern? Not what you want to believe. What would someone have to believe currently at the subconscious level to consistently produce this exact result of not doing? See, that question, this is the beginning of the real work to increasing your performance. If you are someone who is ready to go beyond listening into actual structured transformation, the path to transformation is my 6-month identity rewiring program. It's designed specifically for entrepreneurs and high performers who are done bumping against their ceiling and are ready to systematically change their self-image, eliminate self-sabotage, and operate at the level they are actually capable of. You can find more out at restartyourlife.com. Book a call. Let's have a real conversation. And in the meantime, I will answer the question I laid out to you, and then I will see you in episode 2.